Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back doing another Dominaria Intermediate Swiss Draft League, and what is the pick here? Looks like Eviscerate, there's a Verdant Force, Delez, Cloud Reader, Sphinx. These are all good. We're going to take the Eviscerate. Alright, follow-up pick. Best card, probably the Reproach. Cheap removal. I found Reproach is better in this format than probably any other format that it's been in. There's also Grun and a Divination and a Windgrace Acolyte in black, but we'll take the Reproach. Alright, pick here. We could take the Skittering Surveyor. Would allow us to branch into 3-color. There's Whisper, which is actually pretty good. Skizik, which I like a lot. None of these cards, I think Surveyor is probably the best option here. We're not giving up anything super strong, and it kind of allows us to maybe splash for an Eviscerate or a Reproach if we don't end up in either of those colors. Grow from the Ashes is good too, but we'll take the Surveyor. Alright, so Call the Cavalry is very good. There's a Mesa Unicorn, and there's a Soul Salvage. I'm fine taking the Cavalry. It's probably the best card in here. Okay. Best card in this pack. Could be the Krosan Druid. Thorn Elemental is actually pretty good. But Divest and Cabal Evangel aren't worth taking here. We'll just take the Druid. Alright. So now we have Invoke the Divine, Pierce the Sky, both of which are probably just sideboard cards. And there's Banalish Honor Guard, which is a 2-drop, but not one I really care all that much about. Yeah, I think we're taking either Invoke or Pierce, and it's probably Invoke. You can main deck Invoke, whereas you probably shouldn't main deck Pierce the Sky. So I'm fine taking Dark Bargain here. Get some card advantage going. Certainly good if we end up with a lot of removal. I don't think Joda is all that good. And nothing else is all that good in here anyway, so we'll take Dark Bargain. Okay, now we can take Blood Tallow Candle. Feel fine with that. It's historic. I've found it's pretty good most of the time. There's a foil Oath of Teferi. I doubt it is worth anything though. So we'll take the candle. There's an Antiquities War too. I don't really like that card all that much, even if you build around it. So we can take a Disciple here. I suppose we do. I don't really want to go down the rat plan. There's a Snapper in here, which is actually pretty good, but we'll take the Disciple. So some red cards late, another Antiquities War. I mean, I don't really need any of this. We'll take the Construct, I think, because it's historic, but I don't really want to play it. Probably rather have a Divest than a Dub. Dub is playable, but I'm going to take the Divest because I think it's actually a legit main deck, or more likely a sideboard card, but it's probably fine main deck too. So some late stuff and things. I guess we'll take the Assistant, which is a card I actually kind of like. I don't really care about Evangel. We'll take another Divest. If you end up with enough card advantage, I could see that being okay. It's nice that it gives you some information about what you're dealing with, and it usually gets something. This card's great. Blackblade Reforged is very strong. There's also Tetsuko and a Vicious Offering here and a Reproach. A lot of good cards, actually. Let me see if a foil Clifftop Retreat is worth anything. I doubt it is, but no. Alright, we'll take the Reforge. This card is very strong. I wish we had a legend, but even when you end up equipping it for 7, you're pretty happy. But yeah, if we can get some legends now, this will get a lot better. Either way, like I said, it's kind of a way to just win the game late, which is very good. So we take Whisper here, another crack at getting Mesa Unicorn, but the Whisper is going to be a lot better with the Blackblade Reforged. There's also Jorah's Familiar. We don't have a lot of good creatures yet for Whisper, which could end up being an issue, but we'll take Whisper for now. There's also a Cloud Reader Sphinx in there too, which is very good. Especially considering we don't have a lot of black. We can sort by color and maybe we take the Sphinx. I don't really need to build around a Blackblade Reforged. I think Sphinx is quite a bit better than Whisper. And we might just end up maybe splashing for Eviscerate if black's not open. Currently Whisper doesn't look all that great anyway. And like I said, Sphinx is very good. We'll take the Sphinx. We'll see if blue is open. Tetsuko is great. Deep Freeze in here. We're going to take Tetsuko though. Really like this card a lot. It's going to be insane with the Reforged too. Well, is it insane? I guess not. I mean, it is just because cheap to equip to it. Forebear's Blade. I like having 2 rare equipment cards. They're both really good. Yeah, we're giving up maybe a Syncopate for it, or a Feral Abomination, or a Unicorn, or a Memorial to Glory. Actually, those cards would be fine, but I actually really like Forebear's Blade, so I'm going to take it. Journey Mage is fantastic. There's also Blessed Light, though, so I guess we're going to go with the removal. Sergeant at Arms, more things to equip our awesome equipment to. I like that. Plus, you know how I feel about 2/3s in this format. They're great. Let me start to get a better feel for what we're doing. I feel as if we're probably just going to end up splashing for an Eviscerate, which I'm fine with. Something like this for now, which looks actually pretty good. So we can take a Trapper. We do have a good amount of... Otherwise, I don't really want to splash for Fungal Infection or play a dub. We'll take the Trapper. Another crack at Disciple. I think that's fine. We have quite a bit of Historic already. Could take the Relic Runner. Actually, yeah, that's probably better. It works a little bit better with Tetsuko and the rest of our... Although Disciple is going to be really good with like Forebear's Blade. And it's got First Strike, which is nice. That's also really good with Forebear's Blade. Maybe we do go Disciple. Alright. We already have Invoke. I guess we'll take Arcane Flight. I don't really need to play an Explorer. I'm trying to think if we have synergy with it. Doesn't look like we do. Unicorn's a great wheel. I actually really like the Unicorn a lot. Take a Befuddle. Another Flight. I think we're good, though, on pretty much all equipment at this point. Tragic Poet. Don't have any auras to bring back, so we can set that aside. Honor Guard in case we need it. Alright. So I'd prefer to not play auras most of the time in this format just because there's so much good removal. But on top of that, we already have 2 awesome equipment, so we probably don't need it. Knight of Grace would be a good pickup. We could take another Eviscerate since I'm still possibly on board with splashing the first one, especially with our Surveyor. But Knight of Grace is just a great card. I mean, you could splash Yawgmoth's, Vile Offering, but we did not end up with a lot of legends. So I'm going to take the Knight of Grace. Jaya Ballard. Wish she was good. Could take the Onsera's Wings. It has some historic synergy with a few cards in here. Oh, and it makes the creature legendary. Yeah, that's pretty good synergy, isn't it? We're giving up a Vile Offering on the splash, which I'm fine with, actually. A Deep Freeze, which is okay, too. But we'll take the Onsera's Wings. It's just cool enough with Reforged where I like it. So here, take another Unicorn. I'm fine with that. Or we could do the Sentinel. Probably not. What's the synergies we have with that? I mean, it is a flash creature too, so you can flash block. But historic permanent that I'd want to bounce. Just basically in response to removal. You could do it to Onsera's Wings, and then when it comes back, you can put it wherever you want. That is actually kind of cool. I'd rather have the Unicorn, though. Blessed Light number 2. That is great pickup. At this point, it's probably not even worth splashing Eviscerate. Divination's awesome. Nothing here we need. Sure. Phantom that we're not going to splash for. Opt is actually pretty good. Another Opt or Partick Wanderer, more historic. Could give us some top end that this deck certainly wouldn't hurt. Another Call of Cavalry. Nice pickup. So as of now, I'm kind of looking at not splashing this, cutting the Befuddle, probably the Opt, just because we don't need it. It's kind of an easy card to cut. But this, it says 12 creatures, but it's 14 with the double Call the Cavalry, so I'm a little more comfortable with that. And Divination, you can kind of count as half a land, half a creature. It's drawing you cards. Snapper. Now there's a good Onsera's Wings target. Yeah, I like that a lot. Could pretty easily play that over the Partick Wanderer if I want to. Could take the dub. I think we're good on auras plus equipment, so we'll take the Sentinel. Get a flash blocker. Another assistant is probably fine, actually. We ended up with quite a bit of historic. Poet does bring back Onsera's Wings, but not all that interested. I think we'll be able to make this come together quite nicely. So we have to make 3 cuts. Let's take a look here. We only ended up with 1 legend, which does make the Blackblade Reforged worse, but it's just a way to win in the late game. I like it, and we have quite a bit of evasion too, which is nice. So we have to make 3 cuts and 17 creatures if you include the Call to Cavalry. So we can cut it. We can probably cut 3 creatures. I like everything here. We probably don't have to do the Invoke the Divine main deck because we have the Blessed Lights. So I'm okay with cutting that. And then 2 creatures. The weakest in the deck are probably the... What do we get value out of if I exile a historic permanent? There's not much we get. Protect this, get another land, protection. I guess you get another... No, it's only whenever you cast, so you don't get to scry again. And this is whenever you cast, so it doesn't have synergy with our when you cast stuff at all, does it? Okay, I'll cut it. And then maybe just the Partick Wanderer. It is historic. It's a 5/5 trampler, but I'd much rather have the hexproof with the Onsera's Wings and our equipment. How much historic do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven's a good number to have, though. A good reason to keep the Partick Wanderer. I'm probably okay cutting a Disciple, but it's really good with the Forebear's Blade. 4/1 flying first strike, vigilance, trample. That's a lot of good abilities tied together. Don't want to cut removal because we have a perfect suite right now. Candle, Reproach, Double Light is all I could ask for. Could cut an assistant. Could cut a trapper. If we're evading over, maybe the tap is less important. Just trying to think of what's our weakest. I like having the flying, but they don't trade well. They kind of are just there for attacking. Maybe we cut a Disciple. All right. So, blue-white, no utility lands, but that's okay. Probably just doing a 9-8 split because we do have the assistants we want to cast on turn 1. Overall, pretty good. Pretty cool deck. All right. We'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1.